Shen first ban, making sure that...
Hold on. You're cutting the gun here, dude. We need to do the proper introduction. So, local recording is on. Good evening. No, it's a good morning now. 1 a.m. We are into the grand finals of the Champions Club, Cup number 41. This is an ESL Cup purely for bragging rights to see who is the best, who is going to reign supreme for this cup. We've been following it since game one. We managed to watch quite a few good games, a few really long, close games as well. And the most recent one was the Russian Federation side of Rebels, managing to take a completely unorthodox build, an unorthodox champion selection to become victorious over the Swedish side of Ian Knows All, Ian Knows Best, whatever the TV series is called. So we're into the grand final, and this is going to be logiX from Germany facing off against Rebels from Russia. And bans and picks have already gone through. So where are the bans so far, Norsi?
Well, Shen and Lee Sin both being banned. That's solo top or junglers. Then we've got a Janna ban, which is taking away that focus support that we've seen all day. Karthus ban, that's a pretty standard ban. With his ultimate, he really can be very, very frustrating to an enemy team. Mordekaiser, not really someone that you see banned very much, but quite a strong hero, so I can understand why they'd want to keep him away, because he really can farm up really well. And then an RE ban in the mid, which is obviously just trying to stop that mid farm, or trying to stop that mid champion, similar to the Karthus ban. Quite powerful.
We'll have to see how the rest of the picks go. Kog'Maw, Galio, and Nautilus for logiX at the moment. Chapzy, thinking about Nautilus, not sure. Tariq Graves in the bottom lane is awesome. I love watching Tariq Graves. The combination of the Dazzle to Shatter Buckshot combo is just huge damage. And it's very, very difficult to deal against or work against if they combo it correctly. So we'll have to see who's going to be supporting Kog'Maw. They've got quite a few picks. They can go Soraka, can go Sona. I'm just going to have to see who they decide to go with at the end of the day.
I would really like to see a Leona support. I think...
aggressive Leona, yeah, with the pull forward, the stun, slow. That could work quite nicely, actually, because Kog'Maw's got slightly better 1-for-1 DPS. The problem is there's no heal. So, you've got the burst damage of Graves, and it's really hard to win a fight if you don't survive that burst, or deal DPS to out-sustain the burst.
Rise in the mid pick.
Yep, Rise in the mid. That's a bit interesting to me, because if you know you're going to be up against a Galio who's just going to be pushing the lane and shoving you back to your turret, I wouldn't go for a Rise who is pretty difficult to farm with under the turret, under the lane. And Zenon also pointed out in chat that Tariq's armor buff in conjunction with the True Grit passive from Graves, which increases with each attack, is of course going to be very, very, very useful. So maybe if the magic damage from Cog jumps up a little bit, it'll negate some of that. We'll have to see. Soraka now locked in for logiX, waiting for their last pick. And this is going to be their solo top. Neither champion has revealed a solo top yet. So, Hayoyo picking Kennen. I think that's a safe bet. I think you combine the AoE taunt, Idol of Durand. You've then got the knock-up from the depth charge on Nautilus. And then, of course, you've got the slicing maelstrom from Kennen. You've got huge AoE, CCs, and damage abilities. So who is Rod now from Rebels going to pick? Who's going to complement their team? They've got an AoE champion in the form of a Mumu. You've got Rise, who can apply AoE damage once his ultimate's up. I wouldn't be surprised
Galio.
I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen a Vlad. If Rodno maybe were to go Vlad, I think that would be the standard this side of the pond. Malphite. Well, this is interesting. Malphite ulti. What's it? Unstoppable Force, I believe it's called. And then into a Mumu ulti. Oh, okay. This will be interesting. I mean, they've got a Mumu in the jungle.
I mean, that's two of the best initiating game that they have on their team there, which could be
Yeah, but now
immense.
they're relying on Rise and Graves for damage. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that's your mid and your bottom. But if Amumu and Malphite commit to a fight, they dive in, and they miss or they don't keep Nautilus and Galio from getting to Rise into Graves, it's going to be really difficult to put some damage down on this team and to control the team fights. But if they can protect Graves and keep Rise throwing out those overloads, it's going to be very interesting to see how these team fights go.
I do think you're underestimating. I mean, Malphite can bring out quite a large amount of damage. I think probably the first time I seen him on the competitive scene in the mid will have been Alexich from M5, and I know I've been going on about them a lot, but it's only sort of in the last year or so that I've been watching LoL, and obviously with the way that they've sort of taken over the scene. Malphite does have a considerable amount of damage. I mean, it's not going to be the same burst that maybe a Cogmore and a Kennen can have together, but
depends if he builds AP. Well, yeah, true.
With the Malphite and a Rise on your team, you have a lot of sustained damage, and both of them become so tanky. Even Cogmore and Kennen are going to have a hard time to bring them down.
That's true.
So it definitely will make for a very, very interesting game.
Yeah, true. The only really sort of squishy character on the Rebels team is Taric. I mean, True Grit from Graves. Combo that with some Aegis of the Legion and, one or two maybe Wriggle's Lantern or something like that. He's really going to have a high amount of defenses. Look at the kills, though. You've got 3 Flash Ignites for Rebel. As opposed to, there's no exhaust on that team. So Cogmore's going to have free reign. And Soraka does have an exhaust on her side. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. We got a message from Net Furious mentioning that the last 3 games that have been played, Soraka was on the team and Soraka was on the winning team. And this time around, logiX have Soraka. So we've got the prediction of Soraka and potentially the skins. Once we get to the loading, we'll be able to see who's going to win the skin war. So let's have a look here at the minute. Here's the final bracket. Let's zoom out just a little bit here. And you can see Rebels. Rebels have taken out from buying game 1, taken out the Swedes of Brohip, the Poles of Sizikli. No, sorry, that's the top. GTW of the Poles there. NSZELKI, however you meant to say that. Finally finished off with another Swedish team, and now they're coming up against the Germans of logiX. And logiX, on the other hand, they had to fight in the first round. It's MIG, then against DigiES, against Cold. This was the match that we streamed against the Portuguese side of Cold, where logiX pretty much steamrolled them. Really, really strong showing that time round. Facing off against LOTE. Don't even know what flag that is. And finally, taking out A25 for life, yo. We also streamed one of their games a little bit earlier. So grand final, Champions Club, Cup 41. This is an ESL Cup. And we're into the last 20 seconds of the loading screen. Is that an Austrian flag? Thank you for letting me know. I had no idea what it looked like. Where's your thoughts? Let's give a prediction here, Norsi, based on champions and based on how you've seen...
I see. I'm very biased because I love both Galio and Nautilus, but I just think the initiate on and the tankiness for Rebel and what I just seen them do in the last game, I really do think Rebel stand a very, very strong chance here, even though their picks are slightly unorthodox. And on the skin war, Rebel are winning as well, because let's be honest, Blood God Taric is pretty hardcore.
Yep, it is true. It is true. Blood God Taric does beat the Kithian Cogmore, whatever the red skin Cogmore is. And logiX and Rebels. Come check it out. 1:15 on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday. It is officially Wednesday. It has been Wednesday for 15 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes. We still have 50 people on the stream. How on earth you guys are, excuse me, still sticking here? I don't know, but thank you so much.
Craziness, yes. Galio epic skin, please. Cannot wait for payday so I can buy that.
So
I think
let's have a look how this goes. Nautilus starting with a regrowth pendant. So we can assume he's going to be rushing a Philosopher's Stone. It's pretty much the standard with Nautilus in the jungle these days. And I love watching the animations of Nautilus. It really looks like it hurts, you know, when he hits you with that big anchor.
Nautilus is just a really fun hero to play. You just feel so awesome whenever you do anything.
Don't forget it's champion. Heroes are in Dota. Just saying.
Champion, sorry. Just a quick shout out to Ogre Bunny. It's a myth in League of Legends that as you play more, you'll come to realize that skins win games. And it's this myth that me and Quickshot were just commenting on.
Yeah.
Does Nox have it already, Nep? Oh, that's so... Oh.
That's a really, really cool skin. So, maybe having it in a minute. You know what? It's just a recolored cog skin. Oh, if there's a dredge line onto this Malphite, it's going to be a dead Malphite. No slow. Sadly, predicting the wrong direction. Did we even have dredge line? No. No ability used yet from Chapsy. And that's the right thing to do. Because you ideally want to go for your Titan's Wrath. Titan's Wrath, of course, giving you a damage shield. And giving you an AoE damage over time ability. So it's your primary farming ability with Nautilus. That in conjunction with your Riptide. It does take a couple of levels though before it's really dealing enough damage to clear creep waves quickly enough. Big Wraith stolen. Probably going to take one or two more of these little Wraiths. I'm not even using it yet. Just flat out auto attacks on behalf of Nautilus. And it doesn't look like Rebels even want to challenge this red buff. They knew they were there and they pretty much just let it slide. So I'm very interested to see how this middle lane is going to go. I do think that once a couple of levels have been gained, that Righteous Gust and the Resolute Smite from Galio, it's going to keep Rise at his tower and make it very difficult to farm.
Nautilus is going top already.
Top lane, Dredge line, if it lands, there's the stun. Riptide, there's the stun. The red buff's on him as well. It was just a bit of harass. Just to give Kennen the advantage in the lane. Put some damage down and let Kennen either make Malphite use his pots, which he has a few already, and opting to go for cloth armor first as opposed to maybe boots. And that makes sense, I suppose. A melee versus a range. Kennen is going to be throwing a lot of auto attacks out. And only after a few levels and after a few items will Kennen really be doing a lot of magic damage. Loads of pings on this bottom lane at the moment. Tarek chilling in the grass.
Amumu's stealing red buff from, or Rebels Amumu stealing the red buff from logiX, just as his was stolen from him.
So nothing gained, nothing lost, really. Yep. Counter jungling, as Aki says.
But saying that though, Amumu took all of the minions from the red buff camp, whereas Nautilus left one up, so
it's going to be putting him behind in time. You got to remember though as well, with Amumu doing that for Rebels,
he's going to have the timer on.
Exactly. We're going to, you can assume that Amumu's going to know exactly when that red buff is up. And I'm just trying to take a look at just how much harass this Malphite is taking. Malphite on 13 CS to the 18 of Kennen. If we can pick up these last three, it won't be too far behind. 2 CS isn't too bad. Unfortunately, not managed to pick up any of them. I think a little bit of the caster's curse.
Yeah.
Graves recalling already. Wants to pick up a Doran's Blade and 3 additional pots. Not happy with the heal from Tarek, and we got a potential gank on this top lane. And Mumu sitting in the bush, double buff at the moment. And Malphite just trying to bait. Avatarek hanging around. Bandage toss just missing by a sliver to the right of that cannon. And coming back again. That Lightning Rush cooldown is fairly high. Only 5 Electrical Surge is still up there. So Lightning Surge is back and just missing.
Again.
Just missing. We got pressure in the middle lane as well. 0 mana Galio. Taking quite a good amount of damage from Rise at the minute. And Rise is playing very aggressive in this middle lane. Let me just get rid of the chat there, guys. It doesn't really need to be seen. So chat is gone. farming, 5 minutes in, 400 gold difference in favor of logiX. I think that is compliments, of course, to a melee Malphite in the top lane. Really having a tough time against Kennen. Continually under pressure, continually taking damage. And of course, Graves having recalled at the 4-minute mark, which is very unorthodox, very unusual. But if the last game was anything to go by, Rebels don't play by the numbers. They don't play by the standard manual. Kennen, Hayoyo, having a bit of fun in this top lane. Not really under a lot of pressure. Mumu showed his face, but it wasn't a successful gank. And what are your thoughts so far?
That early Nautilus coming into top lane, he may not have gotten a kill. I think a lot of junglers fall in prey to the thought that they have to only gank a lane if they can get a kill. There's a lot to be said for just forcing a summoner spell or just taking off half the health of an opponent just to give your friend a little bit of a better time in lane. Because now Malphite's down to no pots left, and Kennen still has one after this one that he's busy drinking, which has given him a very, very distinct advantage.
Really good combination of his abilities there, Kennen. Landing a lightning charge shuriken from the passive of his electrical surge. We got pressure on this bottom lane now. There's this 3 coming in. Nautilus has snuck in. If you can get a dredge line, this may hurt. There's a dredge line straight onto Taric. Applies the stun. The Riptide's up as well. Exhaust goes down with the range from Bio-Arcane Barrage. It may be enough to save him. But, or to pick up the kill. But sadly, the heal from Taric. I think he's put 3 levels into it at the minute. No, only the 1 actually. Only 60 hit points.
Going on what Xenon said about the tankiness of True Grit and Shatter.
Looking at the items at the minute, at the 7-minute mark, you can have a look at the creep score. 45 on Cog to 35 on Graves. 51 on Kennen to 28 on Malphite. I mean, that's a double difference. That's a really, really huge amount. In the mid lane, 42 on Galio to 46 on Rise. I have never seen Rise outfarm a Galio. And I think that's because of the aggressive play from Rise. We noticed very, very early on, Rise was moving up, auto attack, overload, auto attack, and he just kept, hurting and putting some pain and some suffering down onto Galio. And it affects your gameplay if you're constantly on the back foot, constantly low health.
There's something going on at the bottom here.
Malphite has snuck in, but there's a ward there. Malphite ultimate, and you can see the ward from logiX. They know all about it. They know Rise is here as well, and this is what we noticed in the previous game. Just how Rebels work together as a team, and just work to push forward. Malphite has built the boots too, just to get the extra mobility in lane to mitigate all of the auto attack damage. And we're gonna have to see how he builds. I mean, he built Rodno ended up building Shen with every form of vest that there is.
Is this an 8-minute dragon?
It might be. I mean, they've pushed logiX back. They've leashed the dragon. Dragon's being leashed backwards, and look at all the damage. 5-minute dragon. This is going to put them even on gold. This isn't going to give them an advantage. They're behind because of farm. What it does mean is they know when the dragon's going to respawn. So, 15 minutes. No, sorry. 14:40 will be the next dragon. And it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I agree. I'm not certain with the Ninja Tabi purchase for Malphite, but we'll have to see what happens.
Trying for something down in the bottom lane. Don't know that they should have stuck around for quite so long.
Oh, huge amount of pressure. First blood going down. Rise into Soraka. Bandage toss not managing to pick up anybody there. Slow collateral damage coming down. Huge mess, but one overload was enough to fix the kill for Rise. And the only counter kill, Cogmore picks it up with his passive. Kithian surprised 3-1 now. I missed how that started. Was that a complete push? A dive past the tower from logiX?
They dived past the tower, and Mumu used his
Curse of the Sad Mummy.
Curse of the Sad Mummy, and directly, just before that expired, Malphite came in with an ulti in, and then Rise with the Rune Prison. It was just...
Yeah, instantly dead.
Flash out. It looked like Galio tried to come in and pick up a kill with
Idle Duran. Well, look, he jumped in, and it was pretty quickly interrupted. So, I'm not sure if there was a CC or... It looked like a bit of a graphical glitch from my side as well. I didn't actually get the full duration or the full information on that particular battle. But looking at items now, that's put them again in a tie for gold. They've obviously lost a turret, so that's put them behind 750. And the enemy champions are seriously out-farming them. Malphite is 41 CS behind Kennen. And that's a massive, massive amount at this point in time. Amumu going with his double GP5 again, which is a good thing to do. And they know about this Amumu. And look at the damage. Righteous Gust and Resolute Smite. Just really chucking him down. We're keeping a close eye at the moment. Cogmore's gone for Berserkers and triple Dorans. So it tends to be the early game build. Tends to be the item that you pick up if you're a little bit under pressure. And Graves, single Dorans and the BF. So we got pressure on the top lane now. We're going to see Slicing Maelstrom coming up from Kennen. Surely, there it goes. Flash follow to keep up with Malphite. Ignite has gone down. The slow comes out from Kennen, from Malphite in that ground slam. Finally picking him up. But Malphite survived for quite a long time. We can contribute that to the fact that there's only the Wota on Kennen at the moment. What's happening in this bottom lane? Recall from Soraka. That's going to be a recall bait. Yeah, it was. Definitely a recall bait. And now Taric is caught out alone. Stun, Dazzle, Shatter. He used his ultimate as well, which is quite interesting. Radiance deals 170 magic damage and grants attack damage and ability power to him and his allies. Ryze and Amumu coming down. You can see the pings. Let's have a look what's happening here. Ryze is going to get up. Soraka's topped everybody off with health. Amumu's coming in from behind, and if he can land a good bandage toss, this is going to be another kill. Brilliant bandage toss. There goes the slow. Curse of the Sad Enemy not being used. Finally being used right at the end there. And the crying baby tears from Amumu picks up the kill. Another great pressure gank on this bottom lane. Where are you looking at the minute, Norse?
I'm just watching Kennen and Nautilus. It seems they're quite happy to trade deaths for towers. And just keep pushing, and it's actually keeping them in the gold lead and keeping them in the game because, yes... huge
damage going down in the middle line. Rune Prison, Overload. I think that was a Malphite ultimate as well. Yes, it was. Unstoppable Force. Double check the name. It is Unstoppable Force. Yay. Yay for being a noob and for remembering the names. And finally got a gold per 5 on Rodno on the top lane. He didn't build on a Shen, but he's built it with Malphite. Of course, Malphite's passive health shield, that rock, whatever it's called, Granite Shield. Gives him 10% of his maximum health. That's a regenerating shield over time. Ryze is now going to catch Soraka off guard. Flash over the wall. Not enough to pick anybody off, though. Soraka just moving up the ward.
Did they just go a minute early for Dragon, did it look like to you?
Or? No, that was Soraka moving up to ward. And the players of Rebel seeing it and trying to cut her off. So that was what ended up happening. Top lane, there is a huge creep wave, and Kennen is just going to nom 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 this whole creep wave. Lightning Rush into Electrical Surge. Quite possibly one of the coolest things in League of Legends. I'm not a Kennen fanboy, I swear. It really is just that awesome. Pressure on the bottom lane now. Taric stunning. He's going to be eaten by a depth charge from Nautilus. That's going to be a dead Taric. He's used heal, somehow survives. That was Nautilus and Soraka, leaving the last hit for Cogmore. And just a second, for just a second, I thought to myself, maybe you can get away. But no summoner heal blown. No flash being used. Or the flash was used by Taric, sadly. Caught by the exhaust, so he couldn't get away. Cogmore, double Doran. So he sold one of his Doran's blades now. And he's picked up a Wriggle's Lantern. Brilliant, brilliant lightning strike, lightning shuriken from Hayoyo. Oh, what was that, Norse?
I was going to say, quite an interesting to go for the 3 Dorans and then sell it.
To pick up a Wriggles.
To pick up the Wriggles. Obviously, he really is feeling the pressure from those 5-man ganks from
well, don't forget,
Rebel.
It's not unusual to build a Wriggles Lantern against the Graves, because you need the armor to mitigate his burst, all that physical damage. And look at that, Nautilus being caught now with the bandage toss. Amumu's not really in range to get a very good Curse of the Sad Mummy off, but they get caught by a great Idol of Duran, and the burst from Kennen and Galio is absolutely massive. The first 2 kills go in favor of logiX, but this fight is still going on. Amumu manages to get out. Malphite picks up 1 in return. Graves finally closed it off. That's a 3-man kill, so 2 so far down. Malphite's still alive. Dredgeline missing. Finally, Malphite picks up a kill to Cogmore, and Kithian Surprise will blow him up. And that ends up being a 3 for 3. And Dragon was...
Who got Dragon?
Dragon did go down in amongst that, but sadly I didn't actually see who picked it up. Amumu's trying to run away.
Chasing Amumu.
If he lands a good dredge line, this is going to be a dead Amumu. Here comes the dredge, I'm sure. Just short. Amumu misses his bandage toss onto the Wraith, but he's got enough movement speed to get away. I'm getting a little bit of FPS lag here. I do apologize about that. Let's have a look at the item purchases now. 2,000 gold lead on behalf of logiX. I'm going to assume they picked up the Dragon. They've also got two turrets bonus as well. Cogmore's picked up a Zeal. Kenan opting to go for the Giant's Belt as opposed to finishing his Sorcerer's Shoes. We're going to have to see what the rest of the team ends up building. Berserker's Greaves and a Pickaxe picked up for Graves. Giant's Belt for Malphite. So his Granite Shield is shielding 200 hit points, which is a decent chunk at the 16-minute mark. Nestless picked up a Glacial Shroud as well.
I think we're going to see another, I don't want to say support Nautilus, I think that's definitely the wrong word, but logiX's Nautilus from the earlier game that we watched, where he picked up all of the gold per 5 items and built the Shurelias and the Locket. And then the team's gen, I definitely think we're going to be seeing something very similar.
On the bottom lane, Dazzle, Shatter, Ultimate, collateral damage used. Only the secondary damage picks up, and Wish from Soraka used to save Cogmore's life.
At the same time, Rise is going down the middle.
Huge pressure here on the middle lane. Rise gets taken out by a gank by Galio and Nautilus. This might be a Mumu going down as well. He doesn't have his ultimate up. And this will cooldown. Unstoppable Force comes in. It wants to try and save Mumu, but it's not going to be enough. Kennan's going to jump in, yeah. And Kennan's going to be able to pick up another kill. Dazzle tossed out from Taric, trying to save him, but it's really going to be enough to do anything, yeah. Malphite being beaten in the head for quite a long time, though, before finally going down. I mean, that was 10 to 15 seconds of constant attacks, and it looks as though logiX are really wanting to push this aggression, push the advantage that they have. 2 of the champions with double buff. This is going to be the first interior turret going down.
And while they do that, Cogmore's just casually pushing bottom lane. Excellent work from them, actually. Galio and Nautilus chasing that Rise for quite some time, but definitely made it worth their while, just picking off Rebels one at a time. Or picking off the Rebel team one at a time, not picking off Rebels.
I definitely think that the team fight synergy between the logiX players is just better than that of the Rebels players at this time. And I really don't think Malphite was a good pick. I think it would have been smarter to go for a Vladimir. Go for somebody who can increase the damage that Amumu is going to get. You know, Amumu, he builds sort of AP defensive like he did in the previous round. Give the bonus damage from Hemoplague onto Buckshot and collateral damage. And I think that's what I would have done.
Does Kenan not counter a Vlad, though?
Look, Kenan is a pretty strong... that's also true. If a Kenan is played very aggressively, he is a counter to Vlad. But, I mean, who else would you have taken in that top lane? You know, there's very few champions that counter Kenan because he's pretty elusive, pretty slippery with that lightning rush.
Interesting lane to see would be a Kenan versus a Needly.
20 minutes in at the moment. And we're going to have to see how these fights go. I'm going to 5-man push from Rebels in the middle lane. Let's get the mouse off the mini-map.
5k gold lead, or just over 5k gold lead for logiX.
Yeah, and his compliments of 4 towers and having superior farm. We're going to have to see if the team fight coordination from logiX is as good as that from the Russian side of Rebels. And Taric being beaten in the head a little bit by Nautilus. All my attention's up there. Looks as they are falling back. And they're going to be waiting for this bandage toss, Curse of the Sad Mummy. That's really what they're going to be doing. Nautilus is baiting. He's pulling their attention. Doing fantastic well. Look at Kennen, almost completely blown up before the fight even starts, but Slicing Maelstrom gives him all the health back that he needs. Galio Idol of Duran in combination with Kennen's ultimate is going to be enough to pick up a team ace. And the only death was then Malphite. I did think it was going to be a 5-for-0 trade, but that huge focus damage on Kennen, there was just nothing to follow it up. And what burst! Kennen only having the Will of the Ancients. I think he just bought the Rylai's.
The scary thing about this is Kennen and Galio's ulti going and channeling. And while that's happening, Soraka's standing there throwing Starfalls, just dropping everyone's magic resist, increasing the damage they're doing. Yeah,
it is the truth. In combination, the Starfall, or Star Call, is it? Yeah, Star Call plus Bioarcane Barrage plus Living Artillery. I mean, every single one of the logiX teams deals magic damage. This is interesting now. Champsy is recalling. He may get caught yet. No, just going to get away. The animation didn't even finish. Kog'Maw's trying to run. Let's have a look. Rebels are starting Baron. And this is a really ballsy move. They don't have a huge amount of damage. They don't even have Infinity Edge finished on Graves. He's got BF Sword, and look at that damage. Depth Charge comes out. And that wasn't even... was it Depth Charge from Nautilus?
Just cleaning up from the back while Baron helps him out.
Damage after damage. That's a double kill for Kog'Maw so far. Malphite's going to go down in and amongst all of this. Amumu's now caught between three. Finally, Galio picks up the kill onto Malphite. Does get taken out by Graves. And all of a sudden, that's another ace for the loss of Kog'Maw. 2 aces on the back of 2 deaths. That's Baron as well for logiX. Wish used just to sustain the damage.
22-minute mark.
And that's going to be GG. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the end of it. Really, really good pressure from logiX team. And I just think their team fight and their champion select. I genuinely believe that the Rebels lost this game at Champ Select. I don't think Malphite was a good pick at all. I don't think it complements anybody. And he doesn't scale very well at all. And look at what he's building. He's got Force of Nature. So he's not even building AP, so he's not contributing damage. Yeah, fair enough. He's a bit of a meat shield, but that's not what this team needs at the moment. They really needed a little bit more centralized, maybe a little bit more crowd, reliable crowd control. And that was a great counter Baron push from logiX, coming off the back of an ace.
Maybe if they had done something like putting Malphite in the mid, it could have turned out differently, because you would have just had the 2 meat shields farming in the middle with the Malphite and the Galio. And Ryze could probably do more against the Kennen then.
Well, Ryze is considered a counter to Kennen, because as soon as Kennen starts his Lightning Rush, Rune Prison and Flash out of the Slicing Maelstrom, and all of a sudden that's it, it's down. Rune Prison and walk out of it. There's nothing you need to really do about that. So, having a look at the moment, sadly, it seems our skin theory is going to be proven wrong. Potentially. Because, of course, Taric he has the coolest skin than Kog'Maw. But Soraka is on the side of logiX. So let's have a quick look at the gold graph. Sitting 6.5k for Graves. Counterpart 9,300 for Kog'Maw. It's a huge difference. Huge damage line, catching right completely. He's flashed out of the way, but the flashes ended up meaning the depth charge deals more damage. The unstoppable force only catches Kog'Maw. Nowhere near enough for that to be a worthwhile investment. Idol of Duran pop, that's 3 champions, and that's going to be enough to pick up the kill. First kill going down Ryze. And all of a sudden now, Rebels are on the back foot. Ryze and Malphite dropped. Curse of the Sadman finally gets dropped. Collateral damage thrown over the top of them, but Wish and Summon a heal. More than enough to save the champions. Taric somehow escapes. Taric somehow gets away. And we've now got ultimate being blown. That's a surrender vote. That was very confusing for a few seconds. And logiX, the victors for the Champions Club, Cup number 41. Really, really well played. And congratulations to the team. I'm going to have a quick look at the
night on.
Very, very good game for logiX. Great pressure, and I really don't think that Malphite pick was good. Really am not impressed by that. But, sadly, you take a risk. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. So that's the final one. Let's quickly jump back to the camera. congratulations to logiX, German side, coming victorious all the way through the cup, playing through till 2 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. So thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you to all 55 viewers who are still here. Congratulations to all who took part. And I'll be uploading the VODs to youtube.com/QuickShotTV. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, because as soon as they're ready, I'll post the links there. And Norseman, thanks for joining, dude.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone who was listening to me in my inept babbles.